the starry sea, with a batlet held tight with glee. Hunt OPC, his battle cry. Stars and moons light up the sky. OPC hunt, OPC, through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight, community our guiding light. Battling communists with cheer, reduces courage, knows no fear. With every clash and mighty roar, victory's prize forevermore. OPC hunt, OPC, through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight, community our guiding light. Battle anchor ship does soar, reduces heart and core. Galactic winds, they lead our course, unity our driving force. Unity our driving force. OPC hunt, OPC, through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight, community our guiding light.
Batman. Sorry, it's nothing to do with Batman. All right, I'm here, and I'm not Batman, but I am Ginger. And that means nothing except factual statement. And hey, hopefully today we get a lot of factual statements made, because we're gonna be talking about your accounts. Yes, you specifically. Everybody here who's like, oh my gosh, I'm so terrible. Guess what? We're here to prove you right. Just kidding. We're here to tell you that you're actually doing better than you think you are. That's been a thing with us for a long time. So the idea is, if you have not attended one of these before, I had a lot of popularity the last time we did it, is we're going to look at individual accounts and talk about where players are at and maybe what they could do better or where they're already excelling, and try to get a general idea. And again, my big theme that I love, you're better than you think you are, because generally speaking, you are. I mean, most people don't realize it, but you're not as bad as some of them over there. You know what I mean? Especially on server 49. I'm just kidding. I just picked a random server to insult. I'm in a mood today. I've got energy. Energy's usually good. Gary, thank you for giving out a sub to the channel. Greatly appreciate you. Good to see you. We're going to go through things. And then, of course, I've got to do, well, I've got a ton of things to do, because it's Star Trek Fleeky Man. That's how it goes. But I got to do all my refines. We'll talk about all that. And also grab questions from the chat, such as this one right here from Ralph. What's next? Get from the event store. I got Fleeky Man, Lorca, Sloan, Revenant, Vindicator, Prime Particles, etc. We'll go over that. Now, remember, I will be doing a video. It's a reminder, I do a video every event store about my recommends based on what's in it. Now, I always wait, hoping and looking to see if more things are getting added. Now, I will add, though, real quickly, that they have, I mean, also want to talk about this here a little bit today, but they have actually improved that, where they're rolling out the event store with new stuff immediately. So it might be changing when I make the video. Normally I was waiting to the very end to make it. Now might be doing it a little bit earlier. We'll see if this trend continues. I don't want to jump on the trend and then, you know, Scopely changes their mind, which, shocker if you've been here before, that has happened. So right now it has actually been quite good. We like it. And of course, we can also go over the event store loot and currency, where we've got the infamous man, myth, legend himself, Jules, back in helping us with that, and we are tracking it already. So if you're doing that, total free-to-play loot is already at 200,000. It's good. It's good. Now that's including you completing the metas. So many of you not completed the metas yet. So if you're free-to-play and you went, oh God, Red, I don't have 200K. Don't worry. That's counting all the meta completions, because this month is also a tricky little bit different, because a lot of it is around meta completions, not individual SMS completions. So we'll talk about that as well. Chrono, good to see you. Welcome in, my friend. And yeah, let me come in here. I had to turn the animations off because I didn't want to ask everybody's opinion before we got started, like on individual accounts. I said I was going to do claims. One thing I was curious, what do y'all think about this right here? What do y'all think? Do y'all like dislike. I already have a particular piece of feedback that I'm passing along to the overlords. But what are your thoughts? My main piece of feedback is you got to be able to tell people what they just got, right? Color coordinated. So for those that don't know what I'm talking about, if you have the skip animations turned on, they actually added it into the refinery, right? So you can hit it and then bam, it skips that animation and just tells you what you got. However, it's difficult to know what you're getting. So you need to highlight that. Now, I will say, I do like this. I think this is a great stepping stone idea. It's like, for me, again, this is why I ask players, it's like 90% from being like really neato. You know what I mean? I'm actually taking a screenshot right now so I can show in the Discord for those curious. Right? Like it's so close to being neato. Now, I will tell you that it is in order, right? So if you got 4, you're looking at your epic return, you're looking at your rare return, you're looking at your uncommon. I still think it needs to be color coordinated. So real quick, let me put what I just did on the screen to give you an example of what I'm talking about. Rotate. So I just did our 4 chest pull. I got 30. Well, that means I either got 3 pulls of this or I got 2 pulls of this, right? So it is in order, but it's really difficult to know. See, I got 1 singular pull in the rare and then 340. We can math it out. Like we can find that we got it, right? But I still would like it to be a little bit easier and see. Now, Andrea says it's not faster at all because you have to close it yourself. I also think that is point 2. Like when you collect, it should kick you out. Now, I will say it is faster because it's not creating a separate screen, which is also important because that can help you with lag, right? It's not populating a separate thing. That's good. So again, I think it's like 90% there. It's just it needs that polishing, which is a common theme with this game. You know, it's not me trying to be mean. It's just stating a fact. This game is always like 10% from polished thing. New thing come, new thing need fix, new thing good. That's how it goes, right? Complain about it all you want. We got to work within the system. That's the system. Bean says it's too fast and half the stuff is not on screen. Now, we'll say if you do not like this, you can ignore it and you can turn it off. The only drawback is if you turn it off, you're turning it off for everything because that is, again, now been baked into the animation skip section. So that's the thing that helps you the away teams faster, upgrading officers. You don't see ships when they come out. It does all these things. So recruit officers, fleet commanders, forbidden tech level ups, away teams, ship construction, syndicate claims, daily goals claims, faction claims, refinery claims, consumable shops, inventory, open PvP, and PvE chest. Music's a bit loud. It shouldn't be. It's at -45, but I'll turn it down just a little bit, smidge, for you folks out there who are having issues. But yeah, music's the same volume it always is, but I'll turn it down just a smidge more for you. JT, if I had Alliance tournament stuff I could share, I would have already shared. I've got nothing I can share. I did bug them about when they need to announce that it's happening, but that's all I got for you. That's all I got. So, music is louder? Nope. Again, it's not. I don't know why it feels that way for y'all, but it's like my volumes are identical to what they always are. So, if you have it on and Scopely messes up the rewards, how would you know with the animation turned on? Well, that honestly is working on the assumption that the awards mess up. And I don't think there's been an example of that in a very long time. So, but hey, you're always trusting the overlords, right? And if you don't trust the overlords, yeah, then just leave that turned off. Sure. So, yeah. Like those medication commercials, there's 4 benefits, and then there's 20 side effects. Hey, yeah, we actually, not 20, but there are, so we can count them out. Hold on, let's count them out together. How many side effects are there now? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, what? 13. 13 side effects. Is it worth it? I don't know. You tell me. But I do still think that, recommendations can be made. Recommendations can be made, and we can decide if we like it. Because, there you go. There's us opening in the chest and seeing the chest version of it. Oh, I got a Sigma. That's from the PvP arenas. I hadn't opened that PvP chest. So that Sigma would have been for PvP arenas. Now, if you do want to have full collection details, yeah. How'd they choose the ones to include? Well, the simple answer to that would be based on things that are most common pulled, and they're trying to reduce click count and time it takes. Now, with this, especially the more they add, inevitably going to run into the issue where players want to see certain things and not others. And the fact that it's all bunched in together means that you end up having to make this choice like we're talking about now, whether you just turn it all off or you keep it all on instead of being able to pick and choose. So, yeah. Brandon says they no longer stack like with Woodland. You open 100 chests at a time, so it scrolls way off to the right. Yeah, and you saw that with my first one, right? So I think there's pros and there's cons to this. You know, for me, I love it for upgrading officers. But personally, I'm not actually a big fan of it when I'm doing refinery pulls. And I know that's, you know, probably weird to hear Rev say because I am generally one of the big loud voices when it comes to less clicks and, you know, faster processing. And that does do that. But at the same time, I still prefer this. There's my extra click and my extra screen. I still prefer that. I think, again, feedback can be given, and we'll see what they say from it. But I did want to talk about that here early on. So, we're in is a game log chat channel. Just log the loot. That also is fair. That also is fair. Gamer B, good to see you. Welcome in. Here, let me, because I do have a, have one of them that I'm talking to later. Let me go ahead and write all this down so I don't forget any of it for the meeting. So, skip animation. Need a log for rewards. Animations run off the screen. Need to be able to identify rarity. Put some of those things in. Just don't want to forget them. Q, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Especially with shards and blueprints, I like to see how close to unlock I got. And that's fair. Absolutely. Because now, how it is, and again, not trying to be negative, but if you wanted to go see those things, you're going to have to go spend the clicks you just saved anyway by going to look at the officer or look at the ship. Right? So, I think that, yeah, it's fine, but sure. Right? It's improvements to be made, and choose or not choose. I do appreciate y'all giving your opinion. John says it's a shame we can't skip the combat animation. Could speed up grinding. It could, however, that would also ruin some of the PvP element of the game. Put it that way. Which is why certain things won't happen, but could. Here, we start doing these pulls, and then we're going to get to individual player accounts. So, they should darken the refinery screen when showing the rewards. This would make seeing them easier. Well, it's the fact that the background glow of them, Brendan, don't give the rarity anyway. So even though they're in order, as you saw on my screen, you're still not seeing the rarity. So I think that's a big issue as well. Now, that also doesn't help any of our colorblind players, which again, I think the idea of the log is great. If there actually was just a straight up log for your pulls, even if it was something as simple as throwing it in the reports channel, which doesn't get used for much, that would be handy. Now, how many people would go look at their pull logs? Probably not many, but it would be nice if it was there. It would be nice if it was there, right? So if we could just go into the reports and look, it's nice to have it as a reference. So, why have you not been using those exos? I'll tell you exactly why, YYZ Pilot. Because there's so much to keep up with, it's easy to forget the simplest things. And that's okay, too. We're not going to shame you for it. We'll shame you for other things, but not that thing. Speaking of things that need shaming, I need to go do NX01 stuff. So let me go do that. I'm just going to send it out. I'm not even going to recrew it. Are they running armadas, those lint lickers? Hold the phone, ladies and gentlemen. Rev's got to go attend that. Here, we want to get our cube back. Let's go pop over here. No, I'm not going to do that. All right. Oh, gosh, I don't even have my below deck set over here. Do I have any below decks here? Not great. Honestly, screw it. Heck it. Let's just go ahead and put on something. Where's this a good old crew? Bam. Done. Y'all are going to be mad because there's no below decks, but who hex? Get on out there. Get on out there. Well, here's my cube. Here, I'll show you real quick. She's sitting at a hefty tier 12. Hefty tier 12, about halfway through, lacking the actual Borg parts to progress, hence me making sure that I'm doing my pulls. So, these Sculpey will tweak a loot table for me. Probably not, but let's go ahead and continue reading. I'd like them to stop giving me FT fragments from the refinery pool and start giving me bells and pro matter. Nope. Nope. Your cube tier is neglected. It happens to some of the best of us. So, it happens to some of the best of us. Is the Echo Beam worth it in the event store? If you like cosmetics, yes. So for somebody like Rev, yeah, it's absolutely worth it. Only upset if you have no Dr. Below. I don't have Dr. Below, so now you are upset, John. Now you are upset. So, yay. How many people, folks, we got in here? All right, I'm going to wait till we get our normal crowd. We're at 260, which is amazing, by the way. Thank y'all for being here. Hit the like button. Helps out the channel. Wait till we get 300 plus, as we normally do. And then we'll start looking at individual counts, seeing where you're at. See where you're at. Cerritos Wednesday? It is. It doesn't really affect me anymore, but it is Cerritos Wednesday. Shout out to all those out there who need to do Cerritos Wednesday. Also, go ahead and give you a reminder. Mission key. If you have not logged into StarTripFleetCommand.com and signed in with your Scopely ID, here's your reminder that you need to do so that you can claim your mission key. This is a good month for me because they've returned. They had left this for a couple of months. They've returned to having the mission key pay out event store currency. So if you are needing more event store currency, you should not be missing your mission keys. That is going to be key for you to be getting as much currency as you could possibly get. And obviously, most of you care about that quite a bit for obvious reasons. All right, so I just did my poll. You go do yours. You go do yours. Reminders are good. An easy way to no longer have to worry about Borg parts is use your cube to solo Bajoran solo models and zap the hostiles. Yeah, I already did that. Dark Torch. That's actually what I do. Now, not as good when you're at higher levels, but still good enough. Still good enough. But that is exactly what I do. In fact, if y'all were here Sunday, that's what I typically do on Sundays. I get 3 things done at once. I'm getting my Bajoran grind for the week done. I'm getting my anomalous phenomenon done because I use my cube's transwarp skin to jump. And then I'm getting my cube done. So I don't know why I hit that hostile. So, but good call out. Always good to have helpful information out there for the players to adapt and overcome. So remember to claim your free loot from the event store. Oh, yes, indeedy. That is another thing that hopefully everybody is doing, and hopefully your RNG blesseth you. Hopefully your RNG blesseth you. Let's see what I get. Very blessed. Very double blessed, baby. I think I'm double blessed. There is an abundance raining down on me in my house right now. Overabundance. It's amazing. Did you see that? Wow. Wow. Incredible. But joking aside, don't forget, because that is valuable. Joking aside, don't forget. Every little bit adds up when it comes to an event store, especially with the event stores being more valuable in terms of contents. I thought they were valuable before, but they're definitely more valuable now. Stella Epic Refit is awfully expensive in an event store. Where should I buy this instead? Are you talking about, is that the Grande, the red one? Or are you talking about the Assimilated? Which one art thou referring to? Afternoon, Bartman. Good to see you. Welcome in. Good to see you and welcome in. Let's see. Do I have a double? Cool. We do. Assimilated. I mean, event stores are an easy way to get that done. Expensive is also relative. I have not looked. What is the total currency cost of it? It would not be high on my priority list if I'm being honest with you. But what is the total currency cost? For reference. The other answer is, as Matt is saying, the Mega Cube event or the Apex event store are the 2 other places to obtain that assimilated skin. Once you get a Stella Max, you can get it in the Apex event store, Correctamundo, which is how I got mine on this account right here. That's how I got mine. E-News! Oh, nope, joke. Everybody, y'all can keep asking me, but I cannot tell you anything. If they have not publicly released it, I can't share. So sadly, no. There's nothing I can give you. Is it really 450,000, Joe? Holy heck. I did not realize that they were charging that much. Okay, don't get it in the event store. Get it in Mega Cube, which runs once a month, and the Apex event, which runs every Thursday. Wow, I did not realize it was 450,000. Holy heck, that is a horrible value. That is awful. Yeah, definitely don't do that. 100% ignore that. I did not realize it was that expensive. My apologies for even insinuating that was a potential option. Wow, that is insane. All right, well, we know what not to recommend now. That's on the not recommend list. All right, y'all, let me finish doing my polls, and then we're going to do individual account checking. I know, well, hopefully y'all are anticipating it. I'm excited about it. Hopefully y'all are as well. But we'll get all these polls in. Is it worth getting the Apex skins for the Pylum? My opinion, only if you're into cosmetics. They will not make a fundamental change in your gameplay. That said, it looks really good. Is there any way to buy the 5th FC slot without the Elite version? The only one I see is $100. Yeah, that's the cost. That's the cost, Bob. It's just $100. It's just $100. I think it's cool you want to look at accounts. Well, of course, Robert. Now, to be clear, I've been doing this for years. There's two other ways I've done it primarily. We haven't done it a ton on screen because I'll be honest, my biggest concern has always been I don't want people to feel like, especially if there aren't stronger. Now, we have, for example, Kill2Deal, who's a regular in our community. Well, he's the top level 60 in the game. We have Kinky Jesus, regular in our community. That's the top level 50 in the game. But I don't want somebody who comes in and ranks like in the bottom 30% to feel like, oh, 300 people just judged me. That's always been why we haven't done it on stream, but I've always done it in town halls. If y'all in your server are interested in the town hall, what we do is we set up, I come hang out in y'all's Discord for a couple hours. We'll get on voice, we'll answer all the questions, even give you a little, here's why Scopely does what they do, because it's more private. And, people can message me as well. But since y'all enjoy it the last time we did it here on stream, we'll do it again. And as long as it doesn't become like a, Anthony Brooks is absolute trash, as long as it doesn't become something like that, we'll keep doing it. I think it'll be good. So, see, I keep forgetting to pull these. Can you tell? I've got 3,000 of those things saved up. As long as it doesn't turn into that, we'll keep it up, right? Finally got a Polygon go with your team. Congrats, James. Look, Polygons, very useful. Very useful. Revenant, super good loop. Though you can argue that most of the loops they've been coming out with, sadly, are good. I hate to say it, but there's so many good things available. And you hate to give them too much credit. We'll make fun of your accounts, Ref. Thank you, Tibbs. And that's what I want. Because right now, the last time we did this, I was one of the top players at level 56, 57. I have gone to 20, as I told you I would do. And everybody here, hopefully, is already aware that Rev is not a top player at 60. I might have a beautiful Enterprise D. Many of you are like, Rev, I'm so jealous. It looks so great. When can I be like Rev? Well, pretty easy because I'm only like, I think I'm in the top 40%. Maybe it's the top 35. That's not brag worthy. It's not. So I'm back to being a regular old folk until I can get things caught up. But that also tells me, hey, what do I need to catch up on? And I can build a plan around it. And I enjoy that. So Rev's M score used to be garbage before we shamed him for it. It's true. It's true. You don't give a rat's butt what anyone thinks of my account as long as I'm happy with where I'm at. And that's how it should be, Mad Hatter. But still, as a content creator, I do care about people's feelings, and I know, how dare I. But seriously, I don't want everybody to ever feel shame. Because if you're weaker, that doesn't mean you're bad. It just means, hey, well, we can focus on this over there now, right? We can focus on this. We can focus on that. It just helps give you a direction. That's the goal of what we're looking at here. So as soon as I get done with these silly pulls, we're going to jump into that. So how we do it, and this is how we did it last time, for those that aren't familiar, I'm going to call out a level range, and I'm going to pick a person. Y'all can't just Discord me. Not that I'm saying I don't want you to Discord me, but people can't just randomly Discord me and be like, Rev, I need your help. Because then I would just get inundated. Remember, we have over 300 people here. If everybody Discords me, I cannot just simply do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to call out individuals. We'll be like, hey, there, bam, bam, bam. And then we'll go from there. We'll try to do as many as we can. And honestly, what ends up happening is you probably end up seeing somebody around your level. You can get basic ideas from the things that we discuss. And the players that I do pull up on screen, what I'll ask you to do is tell me some things about your account in the Discord post and questions that you have, and we'll go from there. By far the weakest Ops 50 account on my server? I don't know, D-Day. We can look it up. We have the technology. We have the technology, right? That technology is made in part by Chrono. Thank you, Chrono, for working with me just about every day, by the way. I always love to give a shout out to all of the content creators we have, and there's a lot of them who do not do Twitch. They do not do YouTube. Chrono is one of them, and Chrono is willing to work with me basically every single day. And that is very helpful because they're in Europe. They're not even American. Like they're supposed to be spending time with like girlfriends and families and puppy dogs, and instead they're hanging out with me, and I really appreciate it. Meme says, I'm technically very close to the bottom of my ops level, but I'm definitely ahead of the curve for capabilities. I just don't have my guns upgraded. It's very real, Meme. It's very real. And for anybody that comes to my stream, they know people like Meme and Pseudo and Tibbs are very knowledgeable players, but there you go. It also depends on what ops you are. So for example, I'm not going to judge people too harshly if, for example, you are, gosh, I got to go do this loop. If you are ops 65, but you're basically free to play. Yeah, if you're at the bottom as a 65 and you don't spend money, I'm not going to like, right? It's very unrealistic to expect a free to play 65 to be that strong. So with all the Ops 40 special ships, have you done a video on what order to focus them? I've not, Kinslayer, but I've been getting that requested a lot, and it's on my list of things to do. I have a long list of videos to make. I say it all the time. If you make content for STFC, you do not have a shortage of content to make content for. It's just you might have a shortage of time to get it all done. So that is on the list, but I've not made that yet. Now that they are done making special ships for right at Ops 40, you see they're coming up for higher levels now, GS31 being an example. It's definitely a time where I can feel like I can make that video now without worrying about crap, something else is coming out, right? How do you know the limit of your own cheese crew? How do you know how high to hit? Trial and error, Kishi, honestly. The only thing you can do is use other players as examples and compare, which is one of the reasons that we're going to be doing this here in a second. And then when you see what they do, you try it out. And if it doesn't work for you, then you know to back it up, try something else. Trial and error. There's nothing wrong with a little trial and error. Gets us all. Do you think the special ships will be staying G4 or start creeping into G5 soon? They will start creeping into G5 the closer we get to G7. It's going to happen. You've already seen G4 special ships are getting higher and higher now, right? What's the time frame to max the GS31 free to play? It's in the Section 31 spreadsheet. I don't have that number handy. See, I got to go pull. I got to go. All right. Well, we got to grind hostile. So after we hit this real quick, I got to go grind hostiles with our NSCA. But we're going to pull up an account. So here's what I want to do. We're going to start with our G3s. I don't know how many G3s we have here. I assume we have several, right? In fact, let's do a check real quick. If you have a G3 account you'd like us to take a look at, bring it on down around. Doesn't matter what level. If you're G3 only, shout it out. Shout it out. Now remember, you do have to be able to use Discord to shoot me a message. All right. Supposedly 218 days. Thank you, Major Samo. I did not have it pulled up. I greatly appreciate that. Let me call in on this armada. Thank you very, very much, Samo, for being so helpful. It's rare to find a man or woman as kind as you are. And not just because you're Canadian, but because you're you. Thank you. All right, we do have some. So here we're going to do. We're going to start with the first one I saw. Mr. Charlie Boy, shoot me a message on Discord. I need to know what your account is, what server you're on. So send me the name of your account, the server, and any questions you have. Once I receive it, we'll go over it, and we'll start talking. Leela says you're on 710 as well. Oh, very nice, Leela. Love meeting some of our fellow 710s. That's really cool. Ops 27 on G3. Ops 27 is part of G3. G3 actually starts at level 20. So before that is G2. And then G1 is like levels 1 through like 3. Don't ask. It's just, there's one ship. There's one ship. So, yeah, one. You blew up my Discord. Can I get a new invite? An invite to my Discord? Sure. I'll type it out for you because I've got it memorized. But there you go. By the way, if y'all are out there wanting to help out Rev's Discord, it could use a boost. As in, if you have Discord Nitro to maintain our level 3 status and have that custom link and all that other stuff, if anybody has a nitro boost they can throw out, it'd be greatly appreciated so we can maintain our level 3 perks. Only if you have it. Please don't go spend money for the sake of doing it. But if you do have a nitro and can help out, greatly appreciate it. All right. So I'm now going to await the message. Is this the message? No. It is not. What's my Discord? Right above there, Charlie boy. Right above. So waiting on that individual to shoot me a message and we can go over their account. So. All right. Let's see. I was thinking long give 100 directives a day. The prime that gives you solo wave directives only gives you 50 a day. Correct. Again, that's why I said don't buy it. But again, you like buying things, man. You just love buying things. You love it. You love it so much. It's fine, though. As long as you're enjoying and feeling value for your purchase. Invite invalid. It's not invalid. That's literally my invite. Somebody just joined with it. Yeah. Charlie just joined with that link. It's not invalid. Charlie just used it. And Spock, thank you so much. Spock actually just threw us that boost that we needed to keep level 3. Thank you very, very much, Spock. Mike says, I quit the game in October. Has it improved at all since then, or is Scopely still been Scopely? I don't know really what your complaints were. Is the game better than it was in October? In my opinion, yes. But I don't know what grievances you had, right? If your grievances were, for example, you hated that the game does a monthly content cycle. Well, that's not changed, nor will it change, right? So depending on what you were frustrated by, it's either the same or better. But I don't know what frustrated you. You really like the solo waves? As do I, John. I think that is a fantastic feature they added, and that helps get multiple loops rolled into one, which is quite nice. It saves us some time. So, it saves us some time. What's the time to max the Gorn Eviscerator? That is also in the Gorn Eviscerator spreadsheet, but again, I don't have it memorized. Samo might be able to pull it up real quick if she's at her computer. So. Oh, it came up invalid for you? You're already in the Discord? That's weird, Rob. But it worked for Charlie. So, say invalid on certain browsers. See, I didn't know that, Sugar Fat Man. I've still not gotten a message from said individual about looking at their accounts. We might have to switch to somebody else. I still do not have a message from the person we're supposed to be looking at their account. Hellcat says the game is only better when the players stop the FOMO. I agree with that. If you can ignore FOMO and have fun, which is, y'all hear me preach all the time. I even have merch for it. The game changes completely. And I say that truthfully. I say that truthfully. Not just like talking out my booty. It truly does change, but that's the big thing. And let's just be honest. Not everybody can ignore that. And I'm not calling you out if you can't. There are some people that FOMO just grips them. But if you can ignore it, it works out fine. Put a message in territory capture. You need to message me, Charlie boy. Message me. You need to message me. Message me. So the Gorn Eviscerator is 669 days if you do full pulls every day, 1,004 for 2 pulls, and 2,008 for single. That seems reasonable. That seems quite reasonable. Nick says they've stayed at 42 for over a year, and the game has gotten so much better. Love to hear that. And I've said this before. I mean, we actually had this conversation on Sunday. People were asking, hey, you should go to G6. When are you doing it, Ref? It's all about what works for you. For me, I think the game is the most fun when you are below the highest tier and you're able to enjoy all the economy updates that come. You're able to enjoy some of the content that comes without the arm twisting that is intended, right? Does any of that, hopefully that makes sense, right? So that's where I kind of sit on that. Hellcat says, FOMO had me for a long time, been clean for 15 months, love it. And hey, I can't sit here and pretend like FOMO still does not tug at me, right? It still does. Anybody who was watching the stream this past weekend, you remember what? Rev got passed on the leaderboard. After I did all the work to go up 3 ops levels, I spent 3 hours doing clicks. 3 hours doing clicks. I took an Enterprise D from tier 0 to tier 11. And then somebody passed. Sorry, that was gross. Had a weird burp. somebody passed me on the leaderboard and FOMO kicked in and I said, nay, nay, I did not bust all this butt to take second place in a leaderboard. And FOMO got me. Even though I actually don't really care that much about Quasi. I don't think he's bad. I actually will do a video on him since I have him. But I was like, nay, 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 you will not tarnish my honor. I did not come up three. It's just a principle of the thing. If I'm going to spend all this time preparing to go to level 60 and then not win a leaderboard, I'll be honest, I might as well just quit the game. Just might as well. I'm a little dramatic sometimes. If you've been around here, you know this. So if you've been around, you know this. Yeah. All right, we're going to have to pick. Oh, hold on. Let's see. We finally go. There we go. Charlie found you. All right, Charlie. I need to know your name. What's your in-game name? So we can look up Charlie. Charlie finally sent me a message. Good. Dramatics on this stream? Never. I know, right? Rev would never be dramatic. It's just against his religion. It's not. In fact, I'm quite dramatic. Do you know the system I bring Sigma in? What are you asking, Yosef? What are you asking? As in what systems you can farm Sigma? Like the Tritanium, the Dilithium? Yeah, well, there's a whole list of them. I can give you them where they're at if that's what you need. All right, we found Charlie. Let's go take a look at Charlie. Now, Charlie, also send me any questions that you have. Go ahead and send those in the Discord as well. And then we're going to take a look at Charlie B. Good's account. They are on server 405. They're level 37. Let me go ahead and move this around. We'll have Spock's Club, not Spock's Club. We'll have STFC.space pulled up. Okay, you're ranked 313 out of 4,100. That's not too bad. So let's go ahead and take a look. And then you shoot out questions that you have. So, Q-Snap. Whee! All right, so here's Charlie Be Good. They are 19.5 million, which I'll say first off is pretty good for level 37 because we've seen people who are level 39 who will go to 40 at that power. So good job. Now, for comparison, what is a top player at 37? A top player is going to be, as soon as it clicks the button, hey, click the button. Click the button. Why you take so long? Chrono, it's broken. It's broken. Chrono, fix it. Fix it. All right, refresh. Refreshes do wonders. All right, there we go. Top's going to be 32. So 13 million stronger. Now, I will say this real quick, Charlie. Number one thing. When I see my players at level 37, first thing I tell them to do is go to 39. Because if you're going to be in that range, you might as well go where you can take advantage of. Right? 37, there's not really much there for you. 39, you know, you're building the ISS Jelly, you're getting your Talios to tier 3, you're getting your Voyager, you're prepping for your Monavine up at 40 plus. 39 to me is still the best spot to finish your G3 content and prep for G4 content. But I will say, based on metrics of power alone, you seem like you're ahead of the curve in terms of research. Granted, you know, keep in mind that there's 4,000 people. You're sitting on page 3, which is nothing to shake sticks at. Or where was Charlie here? Charlie was page, you were 313, right? Isn't that where you were? Let me go ahead and see if I can find you again. Yeah, you were 313. So let's do a quick mathematicians real quick. Everybody here's a mathematician, right? Look at that. This is a calculator. I don't know. Some of you might still use an abacus. What we're going to do is we're going to take you to rank 313. What was it? 4133. 4133. Not shabby at all, man. You're in the top 8%. Now, what can I deduce from this? I would assume you have a G3 Epic that's around tier 7, right? Around tier 7-ish. Again, respond in Discord so I can see it. Another reason that you want to go to 39, and Ardalike actually just shouted it out. Freebooters. X-Borg faction will open up for you at 38. Freebooters, freebooters, freebooters. Even if you it takes time to get the rep. Annoying. But freebooters and the X-Borg faction, such a big thing for the G4, G5, etc. life. Then you also have the Parabellum event, which is going to allow you to earn some Latinum that you weren't earning before. It's nice. Again, kind of like I've said before, 37 is an odd dead zone. But going by where you're at compared to your peers, you have a maxed Enterprise. That's already good. We actually want a maxed or a maxed Auger before we go into level 40 and above. So looks like you're doing well. Now, I'll also give you this. When people talk about being level 39 and when am I ready to go to level 40, I think, again, power means nothing, but it's a great measuring tool. And that might be confusing to some people. 30 million to me is a minimum generally of where I would look at power for going to 40. Why 30 million? Because that gives me a decent idea, decent barometer of where your power is at, but more your research is at, right? Research is so critical. And one thing I want you to focus on, I want you to get to 39, Charlie. I want you to unlock freebooters. Such a time saver. We talk about all these little clicks. That's a massive time saver, right? I want you to work on getting the ISS Jelly by doing Armada chest every day. Pull them every time you can. And if you can afford it, your alliance should have a service to give you ISS Jelly BPs as well. I really want to get you invested in that ISS Jelly scrapping loop long term. That's huge, right? You're moving to 39 now. It's not much to do. Bingo, bango, right? I also want you at 39 to start working on how good are you at Borg Solar Armadas and Dominion Armadas. The higher you can punch up, the better. That's actually going to help you for a couple of things. One, it's actually going to prepare you for Krenim entity loops down the road, right? Because they're harder and different crews anyway. Two, it's going to mean that as soon as you get 40 plus, those are 2 loops that you can do once a week. You're not going to worry about because you'll be able to build up the currency for the rares and the epics easy because you've already prepped with the uncommons punching up. So you're not going to have a struggle there, right? Another barometer we like to look at is, are you strong enough to beat a silent? Even though that's not as difficult as it once was, that's another good one. So those are big things I want you to focus on. And if your alliance is active, man, oh man, listen. If you have an active alliance, please be doing waves with them at 39. But more importantly, formation armadas. I cannot express how important formation armadas are in the game right now, especially for G3 players. You want to move up quickly? An alliance is what will help you move up quickly. Between tournaments, formation armadas, solo waves, these mechanics will catapult you faster than people just playing the game who happen to be an alliance but aren't doing things. Those are critical things. Those are going to progress you in the artifacts area. That means a lot. And I know it's like, oh man, it's just so much to do. Start picking and choosing. And the reason I'm giving you these tasks to do now is because once you get 240 plus, you add a ton of loops. NX01 loop, mirror loop with the NSCA, right? We've got to start doing our Revenant loop. We've got our GS51 or GS31 coming in a few levels. All these things start piling up. So start working on those now. That way, when you get 40 plus, you won't be overwhelmed and you'll be strong enough to take on all the loops. Those are my things for you right now. Hit Kill says, you say silent are not hard, but both silent and Gorn I see a lot of people struggling with. Yeah, look, so when I say they're not hard is they are no longer a hard measuring stick in the game. They're just not. Now, that doesn't mean that people can't still struggle with them. Please don't take that as what I was trying to say. But what I am saying is before they were holy heck. Now they're not holy heck anymore. They're not. There are harder hostiles than silence. Now, can they still be weak or can you still be weaker against them? Yes. But that's more speaking on where your account's at. They're no longer the preeminent hostile in the game. And happy to help, Charlie. Keep working with your alliance, keep doing things. That's awesome. And see, again, Charlie is one who doesn't probably need much help, but they need the direction. But still good to get those frame of reference points, in my opinion. Get a Meridian and mine ISO constantly or OPC hunt. Territory research is big. Territory research is super beneficial. Yes, I'm going to assume a lot of Charlie's research is good based on their power, but hopefully Charlie is not skipping out on those researches. Also, if you need a couple other things, Charlie, you can get your Stella to M score 80 at level 39 if you want to work on finishing that loop. And I obviously would definitely push you to be collecting chronometric particles and everything you can in the territory loop. Yeah, you can actually get to M100, Fat Man, but M80 is my baseline. Like, I want everybody, because I don't try to tell people to just, hey, max out everything before you go, because let's just be honest, there are benefits to moving up because you can do things quicker. But M80 minimum is what I would recommend. As someone who didn't do that and regretted it, that's, passing along the knowledge. So, yeah, passing along the knowledge. All right, so we got that one. Dang it, they're launching these things fast. Jiminy crickets. My Lanta. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do another one. Charlie got one. Let's go grab somebody else. Let's stick with another G3 player for now, then we'll do another G4. If you're in G3, say, hey, I want to be done. And then if I call you out, again, I'm not trying to ignore anybody. We can just only call out so many at one time. Discord. She's got Lorca. Congrats, Tom Lord. That's huge. That's huge. Okay, Domo, I love you, but you're in my alliance, so I'm going to reject you, Domo. Not that I'm saying you're bad, Domo, but you have direct access to me every single day. Right? So I'm going to give somebody else a chance. Domo, you're good people. Domo's one of my Commodores, by the way. So this is no shame on Domo. We love Domo. But he's literally my Commodore, and we'll pick somebody else. Right? We'll pick somebody else. Tony. Tony on server 707. Shoot me a message on Discord. We'll do Tony. Love you, Domo. It's just, you've got access to me literally every day. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Every day. So hit me up, Tony Stark, and we'll take a look at yours. Sugar Fat Man says, for solo armadas, if you do it right, you can kill the 49 Borg solos and the 53 Dominions at 39. Ask Sugar Fat Man how he knows. Ask Sugar Fat Man how he knows. Oop, 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 oop. Get it. I had to call it before somebody else grabbed it and nabbed it. Had to call it. All right. So, yeah. Hit me up, Tony Stark. I look forward to it. I look forward to it. Oh, you did. You're Iron Rock. Well, good. All right, Iron Rock. Shoot me. Go ahead. Iron Rock has given me their name. Go ahead and shoot me any questions you have as well. Charlie did. You do the same, and then we'll take a look at everything you got. So what I think it is, by the way, Chrono, because I know you asked me to send you the link. I think what it is when I look up multiple things or multiple players in one session, the cache is freaking out. Because if I'm refreshing, it's loading everything fine. But if I had looked at Charlie and then I tried to go look at something else and then something else, it's like it was trying to keep up with everything I was doing. And a refresh cleaned it up and it went, okay, we're good now. Again, that's maybe what it is, maybe not. All right, let's see. Harbin is level 33. Ooh, we got a lower G3. I love seeing the lower G3s here. Let's go ahead, find Harbin, hit re-rank. Well, dang, Harbin. You don't, Tony Stark. Yeah, I'd say you're doing quite well. But let's talk about it, and let's talk about what you should be doing at level 33, because in some ways, you're similar to our man, Charlie. All right, I got to go make sure I get in this Armada, though. First of all, I got to get in this Armada. But you actually are very similar to Charlie in that you're at a level that I call a dead level. For those that don't know, Harbin here is at 33, but Harbin's a very strong 33. They are 12.1 million. And as somebody with a level 30 account that's only like 6 million, that's quite good. So this tells me that you probably picked up a 32 as well. Did you pick up a 32? Not that there's anything wrong with that. Did you pick up a 32? So, but here's what I would tell you immediately. You need to be at 35. This weekend, you should be at 35. No questions asked. Go. You have a 32? I knew it. See, it's like Rev plays the game. You need to be at 35. Already, you're good for 35. Your main goal, like if we're just giving you goals, you need to go to 35 this weekend so that all your uncommon served a purpose. And then from there, you need to be picking up at least, didn't mean to do that. My apologies. I was trying to grab my game. You need to get at least one of the epics, possibly two. And so you're working on Augur. You already have the BPs for the Enterprise, so you're on track. But you need to get there now, because what else is going to happen at 35 is specialty ships, the Titan and the Cerritos. And if anybody's been playing the new content, the new entities, the new solo waves, the arenas, a lot of this content is built around you having a specialty ship to give you those buffs. You need to go ahead and unlock them. You're doing nothing for yourself at 33 because you've already got all the things, right? Not that I'm saying you're bad. I'm simply pointing out that you as a player, man, you're beyond ready. It's time for you to move on up. And this weekend, I better see you up. Titan for swarms. Titan has nothing to do with swarms. But for Q trials, yes. Yeah. will definitely help with Q trials. But Titan's max fortification ability, again, you got to get it to tier 3 and all those other things. But that's going to help you in your wave content for G4. It's going to help you in your arenas if you choose to be a PvP player in G4. All these things are going to matter. You want to go ahead and get them now, right? You've got no reason to wait at this point. There's nothing at 33 for you this weekend, and I'm only telling you to wait, 2 days, 3 days, because I don't want you to waste all the uncommon you're going to spend for nothing. I'd tell you, and I think you'd enjoy it, get to 35 this weekend, invest in the Enterprise this weekend, hopefully place well on the leaderboard, and start working on those other specialty ships. And then, within probably a couple of weeks, because you're already quite strong, within maybe 2 to 4 weeks, you're actually going to be getting the same advice I just gave to Charlie. You're ready to move to 39 because you want to pick up the freebooters, work on your X-Borg, start prepping for those solo armadas, right? I think within 6 weeks, you could be 39 without spending and getting there at a reasonable time frame. You could stretch that out if you want to. Again, don't rush for the sake of rushing, but in terms of where you're already at, because remember, a lot of power, especially, or it's easier to see at lower levels, is the guns, or are the guns, right? So you're going to gain easily 5-6 million more power just from the guns that you're going to be adding in those levels. So I'd say in 6 weeks-ish, you're probably going to be getting 25-30 million in overall power if you're sticking with where you're at, right? The same pace, the same ideas. So there you go. Meme says, Titan A has a BP claim in the X-Borg store. You can speed it up with incursions event stores. Correctamundo. Correctamundo. So, Correctamundo. All right, let's see what other questions you got. You got other questions. You have all the Voyager and the Enterprise working on Augur. That's good. I love that you've already been getting blueprints put together. Is it where it should be? The only other things I would say are, have you picked up the Mantis? Have you picked up, or where's your disco? I know I didn't mention this to Charlie, and I apologize. I would definitely get your disco as close as you can to max. You want it max at 39. Just make sure you're working on all those things. But both of y'all's accounts look like G3 accounts that are close to G4 ready. They just need a little bit more work. And then you can jump up here with the rest of us. So, Jay Watt says 6 to 8 weeks is reasonable with where he's probably at. Yeah, I think it's pretty reasonable. So, I think it's pretty reasonable. Razor said disco research over disco ship. I would actually disagree with that. But whatever works for you. How do you find out your server? The easiest way, Shadow. The easiest way. And do we have everybody here? Got 4. I think that's everybody. I'm going to speed it up. But the easiest way is actually go to your base in the game. I love how easy they've made it because it didn't used to be this easy. So just go to your base and click it. See, it says home right here. 020. That's this server, server 20. Easiest way is to click on any player base or ship. And you should, well, I said any ship. It is a Scopely game still. So click on these, should show you. Am I showing the wrong screen? My bad. I forgot I have display capture on. Okay, now I'll do it this way. Click on any base. Here you go. I forgot I still had the display capture on. Here we go. We'll fade that out. All right, so hit any base, and where it says home bracket 020, that's going to tell you your number. It's going to tell you your number. Bob says they did ship first and wish they did research first. I think the summon is better used than a fully tiered disco at mid-30s. So the main reason that we do ship first is it will speed up how quickly you max the researching as well. Now, the difference in that, some people call negligible, and that's a fair rebuttal. But doing the ship faster means you get the loot done faster. However, that does mean longer to then get the research done, which is fair. You're not saving that much time, but you will save time focusing on ship first. But if you want to pick up the summoning, you won't be the first person that's done it, nor the last. You will not be the first nor the last. The worst thing about the disco was the titanium or tritanium cost, and that shouldn't be an issue anymore. Also have Mantis waiting on ops level, plus Max Franklin, plus still Stella scrapping. 35 this weekend. Good, Iron Rock. Sounds like you're good to go, man. Sounds like you're doing good things. Sounds like you're doing good things. I saw somebody else ask earlier, by the way. Let me grab it. Do we still have that Sigma player here who was asking about grinding Sigma? If they are, I want to make sure that they hear the answer. His henchman, oh, he's already in here with the Minerva. Colo's here. All right, speed this up. Do you really need the disco? Yes. You want me to show you why? Because I'm assuming you don't know why all of us are going disco, disco, disco. You ready? You want me to show you? You want me to show me? Here's the ability. Hold on. There, I gotta go scroll and find it. Now, there are technically 3 ships that can do this, but only 2 ships that can do it like the disco, with the disco being one of them. So pick a system, any system. Well, any system within a warp range. I'm gonna pick this one. See this fancy button? Click it. Oh, that's summoning to me. My bad. See this fancy button? Click it. I'm there instantly. All right, now, what else is cool about it? Not only is the ship there, watch this. Hey, see that button? Click it. Guess what? This ship is now here instantly too. Isn't that neato? And if, say, that ship didn't have the warp range, it's still there, even without the warp range. I pulled the ship up there. You can do it for mining. You can do it for PvE, PvP. Very handy tool. Now, 2 ships can do what I just did. The Disco and the Gorn Eviscerator. Disco and the Gorn Eviscerator. The Gorn Eviscerator, though, will pull in anybody in your alliance who chooses to use it and pay the cost. Disco is specifically for you, but 2 ships can do it. It's very handy, saves you a lot of time, especially if you are trying to get into deeper parts of the game that take time. Very handy. Very handy. So, then also want to point out the main thing about the Discovery that I love, especially for players who are preparing to go G4, 96 days of speed ups per week just from the 1-day speed ups, not counting the 12-hour speed ups. So, just from that, I mean, if you total all the speed ups, you're getting well over 100 days of speed ups every single week, level 40 and above, doing your disco, if it's maxed. So, yeah, and Braindig also points out another strategy that we'll use. Let's say your disco doesn't have the range, though I do want to point out, now that the Disco Prime is available, the 5-tiered warp range prime, everybody can end up getting it, but you can have a Gorn Eviscerator summon your disco to way out in space. Let's just say that, you're a G5 player and they summon you to a G6. Here, I'll actually give you an example that you can take advantage of. Level 60 systems, warp range 700. But a Gorn Eviscerator, you can go there. So let's just say a high level player opens the rip. You're a G4, G5 player. Cool. Now I take my disco there, and now my disco can summon every ship there. So I could summon all 7 ships there if I wanted to or needed to. Make sense? Math. And Anton is right. You can't go G6, but you can go level 60 because it's not G6, Antony. Hence why I brought that up. You can go to 60. If you need proof, guys, look, I'm there. It's literally a system that I've been to. You see it. You see it's open, right? I've been there. You see it. I'm not going to give you lies. I'm only going to give you truth. 60 is still G5. Now, I can't go here. I can't go here. But you can go to 60s. Very handy. Very handy. So Mob Story 2, is it really worth a spot on my bar? No. Your disco is not worth a ship that you would use regularly. You use it every Sunday, or when you need to use it for summoning. But those niche methods, man, I'm telling you, will save you time and heartache. Because one thing that you don't have at my level is the warp speed researches that I have and the warp speed artifacts that I have. And I'm not trying to call you out, but if you wanted to go to some of the systems I go to in 1 minute, take you 6-7 minutes, right? And unless you were just feeling like making a sandwich and sitting down and eating it while you fly, disco can save you that time. So, now we know. Now we know. A disco as needed. Oh, nope. All right, so I've got like 5 that called in. Then we'll do the rare after. Disco summoning also counteracts the Mantis Sting if you're at war or possibly being attacked. Good call out, Bob. Not something that we bring up much, but good call out. So, another reason G5 is not great, you can't go to G6 systems as a G5 because of hazards and mission obstacles. It's true. It's true, but I don't consider that a reason it's not great because I don't want to be up there anyway. I've played up there and it's not for me yet, but you will see this account going at some point. At some point. All right. Because we've done 2 G3 accounts, let's do a G4 account. If you're a G4 player, level 41, 42, 49, 50, and you want us to take a look at your account, throw it in. We'll talk about recommendations, things that you might need, etc. Right? Average, I think, ops 46. I got a few questions around ISO and think the new waves, though. Well, we're going to grab, because we got several of them here. 52 is G5, Roden. We're not there quite yet. 52 is G5. All right. We're going to grab Obmar. Obmar, did we do you? Did we do you already? That's phrasing. If not, we're going to grab you because you're 42. That's the lowest G4 I've seen. We'll do another G4. We'll just work our way up. Did we do you already? Or am I just going crazy? It is possible I am Ginger. Just message you. Okay, well, shoot me another message here on Discord. We'll take a look at your account. So we're going to start with Obs. And then we'll do another G4 after, right? Try to do as many as we can, but don't forget, because y'all have enjoyed this process, this is obviously something that we're going to be doing quite regularly now. So if you don't get called in today, don't worry. You can come hang out with Rev and do another one later. So I'm going to try to do as many of these as I can since y'all seem to enjoy it. All right, let's see. All right, Amar, gotcha. Whee! Let's go get it. I'm going to refresh STFC statistics real quick. 66 debating, moving up towards 70 once I get a few things done. Nice, J Watts. Very nice. Let's reset all of our inputs. All right, Obmar, I need to know more information about you. You said you're 42, but what questions do you have? And I guess I can look what server you're on with this. You're on server 16, level 42. All right. So now I just need you to Discord me what questions you have, and then we'll go from there. All right. Has your advice regarding multi-phasics changed? Spend them on Syndicate or something else? It has changed from that, yeah. And the reason being is Syndicate just, well, doesn't really give you as much anymore. So I actually just used my multi-phasics. I'm going to make sure I got everybody in here. All right, Henchman, JTK, Wicked, Marv. JTK and Marv? Is that Marv? Oh, there's Marv there. I guess I can just click this. Waiting on Wicked. Wicked ETA. So, yeah, it has changed because you can get Syndicate in so many more spots now. So let's head over to multi-phasics. This is the Syndicate one. What I've been doing, again, where you're at matters. Right? This is only for spenders, for those curious. I'm doing the ship packs for the parts and the mats. So what I did is I did the Ultra Surveyor pack so I could get these because it pays out the most epics. I did that to get epic mats. But ship packs right now is where I'm pointing people to because the Syndicate, you can just get Syndicate in so many places in such high amounts now. Exactly what Beam said. It has not kept track with other things. It says he's here, but I don't see him. Oh, he's in there somewhere. All right, cool. Speed it up. Speed it up. All right. Do someone that's 50 looking down the barrel on G5 next. Hey, Kate, you don't tell me what to do. You're not my real dad. You're just my stepdad. You can't tell me what to do. Kick you in the shin. Let's get this 42 done. We'll see. Wish there was a site that had account breakdowns like unlock ships and tiers, research and favors. I mean, nothing can do all that because, let's just be honest, the game's got too much stuff in it. But we have things that are close to that and content creators. All right, we got that bloated up. Let's head over to this rare. I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss it. And while we're doing this, I'm going to send this back as well. All right, let's take a look at Obmar. All right, so Ob is not at the very top of his group. That doesn't mean he's at the bottom, but Ob is at 535 out of 779, which is still pretty heckin' good. In fact, if we do some mathematical, 7799, let's see, where were they? 535, 7799. I mean, you're still in the top 7%. So, I mean, you're clearly, I would say, on the right track. I would assume, looking at this, that number one, you've gotten all your station buildings upgraded. You've also picked up a 42 uncommon. I would also gander, based on looking at this, that your specialty ships are maxed for their tier. What I would be looking at for you is 46. Yes, I know it's a big jump. Why do I go 46? Well, number one, your refinery is going to improve. Number two, you have a faction ship that you can pick up. Number three, you can actually start doing the solo elite waves and working on unlocking the GS31. Do I think that's important? Yes, I do. I love the solo wave run, period, which you're going to start doing at 45. Might as well go to 46 and pick up that faction ship to make it easier. But I also like the elites as well because of what the GS31 refinery has. So that would be a big one for you. Now, a lot of things will change if you make that move, but just going by this, you still have some researches to pick up. You're certainly not at the very top of your class. And if you can correct me on any of the things that I just called out, feel free to. I didn't mean to just reset all those. But let's go back to Ops 42. And we'll do page 1 of 42s. I think it's when I have a name pulled up. It really doesn't like moving there, Chrono. You see, Max is 40 million stronger. So it's not like you don't have room. But let's see where you're at. Tell me what ships you're at, where your researches are at. But being, top 7% means you're doing pretty well. So you're doing pretty well. Now, doesn't mean that you've got everything done. Again, 100 million power is max for that level. Depends on what your goals are. But your next outlook should be moving to 46. And to be very clear, I'm not saying do that in a weekend. I'm saying that's your goal. We're going to work our way up to 46. It took me, 4 months doing that? 4 months? So that's what I would look at. Those are your next major things. But keep in mind that you've got other stuff in that same vein. You're in XO1. You need to be doing that. Where's your NXO1 at? You need to be doing that loop, right? Where's your mirror loop at? You need to be doing the NSCA, right? These are all things that you need to do and focus on. So if you are, keep at it. If you're not, redirect. But just going by this, you clearly have upgraded the buildings. You should have a 42. And while not everything is maxed research-wise, you're on the right path. I mean, anytime you're in the top 10% of your player base, you're in the right track. You might just be missing a few things. Same things I was talking to other players about. Formation Armadas. Those are big. Let me get in on this rare before I forget again. Bad habit of that. Get over there. Formation Armadas are huge. Mirror Universe for you is huge. You should be tri-faction grinding, for example, right now. Right? You should be tri-faction grinding right now. So just things to look at. Chrono says, would it be an idea to show the average power level graph here? Yeah. You want to resend it to me real quick, Chrono? And I'll pull it up. You want to send that to me? That would be useful. And Omar has not sent me any more comments they have. So if they have questions or comments, I can't fill any holes in there. NX01 and NSCA are so important. They are. And you can't forget about the Eviscerator either, right? That is also another very important ship with a lot of value. All right, let's pull this up. When did we pull these numbers? This was the 12th. Still quite recent. Open link. Here we go. So here's our pretty graph. Who doesn't like pretty graphs? We were just looking at 46, which would be this line right here. You see the top power's over 100. The average, can't really make it out, but that average is going to be around 50, just eyeballing it. You can see there's a little bit of a gap there, but there's a bigger gap down here in the lows. So as long as you're above the orange line, though, that immediately makes you above average. But I do really want to point something out. Just being above the orange line is not enough. Why? Because most players, even at the orange line, are behind. That's just the truth. The average player is behind. That's not an insult. It's just a fact. Because this game puts out stuff so often, the average player is always playing from behind. So you're more looking at wanting to be as close to that green line as you can, which is why I tend to be that. Like, I try to be like top 50, top 5 if I can. You remember I was at level 53, I was top 5, right? I want to be there if I can. The closer you are gives you a better idea. And I just really want to reiterate again, power overall means nothing, but it can be a good measuring tool to give you an idea of, am I where I need to be? If you're in the top 10, 15, you're probably where you need to be, even though you still have things to work on. There is a huge disparity between where players are. Also, look at this weird anomaly. Look at that. You got a player who is at 40, is that 45? Who is below 10 million power. That is nuts. What I would actually do on this one, Chrono, is I would set it by 10 level brackets and remake these graphs so we could look at the whole numbers and look at, just 20 through 30, 30 through 39, 40 through 50, etc. But that's all. Imagine going G4 below 10 million power. Like that's insane. That is crazy. That is crazy. Wow. CPM. All right, cool. Well, let's CPM. Table. Now, I can't do that table, Chrono, because that is going to show up horrible on screen because it's a vertical table. Yeah, I'd have to download it and use that. I'd have to download it and use that. But vertical table's not good for viewing on screens. So, let's see if Ob had any comments and questions. Has someone come to the door? It happens to the best of us, my friend. Don't worry. All right, let's get another G4 player in real quick. Another G4 player. We'll move up a couple levels. You're in G4. Hit me up. Demon Chris, Ops 46. Demon Chris, first one I see. More for reference? Yeah. Yeah. For those that don't know, STFC Statistics does have their own Discord. So if you want some more of this information, check it out. And the website that we use and work with is stfc.pro. I use the PRO one because you can actually put that in game, which is quite nice. Wish the WTF one worked, but hey, Scopely gonna Scopely. But yeah, stfc.pro if you want to go check some of this for yourself. And yeah. All right, so Demon Chris, shoot me some messages. We'll go over yours. We'll go over yours. All right. Ops 49 camping, nice, OEC. I would say remember that Ops 50 is still G4. The thing that you have to worry about at level 50 though is just how easy it is to go to level 51, right? So I do recommend going to 50 and picking up those G4 epics. Really comes in handy, as you saw with me doing my Enterprise D and scrapping that A. But do that at least, right? Think about that going to the top of G4 at level 50 because not much really changes. It just becomes super easy to go to G5. Yeah, no problem. Happy to help. Happy to help. Another officer to look out for is Borg Q. He's available during the MedQ events. He is huge, and also one of the reasons I want people to be able to do as well as they can as soon as they go 40 plus, so that they can work on obtaining him faster if they don't already have him, and if they do have him, upgrading him via the Borg solo loop. He is so useful to everybody's gameplay. So useful. So, super, super good. Prime critical floor just now. Very nice. Very, very nice. That is also very useful. 49 is actually a crazy big deal versus 50 because the solo waves get crazy strong. Yes and no, Razor. Here's why. Your regular workings don't care about you needing to be. What I'm saying is 50 is only that way because you're in solo wave month. And there's events that say, hey, you need to go do the G5 one. But in terms of everyday gameplay, nothing's changing, right? Nothing's changing. You are not forced to do the G5 solos only if you're trying to progress through passes and stuff. If you're trying to get currencies, you're not blocked out. So, should you skip a G4 rare faction? Nope. You should get both. Nope. You should definitely get both. So remember, it's only during like these event months like we have going on right now where they're going to try to like really force you to level up. It's what they're trying to do. But generally speaking, that's not going to affect you long term. Yeah, it'll be annoying this month, but I personally think that's fine. I've stayed away from battleships and now have a Titan that seems massively underpowered. What would you suggest for a good PvE crew that doesn't steal from Explorer and Interceptor crews? Well, PvE crews don't really matter what ship you're on. So the same crews apply. I mean, Janeway, EMH, Dock, Strange New World crews. What you're using for PvE doesn't really matter what ship you're on. So PvE crews are PvE crews because of the hostiles, not because of, you know, anything else. Dang, all those are taken. Let's see how these boxes pay out though. Okay. Okay. Let's go in here real quick. Let's see, can we do pulls? We can do single pulls. Chest got more expensive now that I went up. Yep. More expensive now that we went up. It's annoying. But I mean, I can still afford to pull it. Let's do a single pull. We'll pull as much as we can. Oh, wow. 17 Tucker Sharks. Not bad. Already got those, but I got 3 DDD. Also, that's nice. It's not too shabby. I already have that, but that's fine. That's good. That's good. Sweet. Not a bad little haul. Not a bad little haul. What's your goals for going G6? G7 coming out. So, all right, Demon Chris. Let's see. Remember, shooting your questions already. Nice. Demon Chris, I can't see your name, so you're going to need to share it. I've got, it's what's called streamer mode, so I can't actually see what you typed. It's like your name is just a D with dots because I have streamer mode on Discord, which prevents my notifications from pushing. So yeah, you have to actually type your name out for me. Thank you. I know most of y'all wouldn't know that, which is fine. Just letting you know. Future reference. Need your names. Need your names. All right, Demon Chris. Let's see. Level 46. All righty. Let's get this 46 set. All right, you're actually number 100 out of 7,068. So another one that's probably already on the right track. Let's see what questions you have. Q-Snap. Does general piercing affect ISO damage as well as just regular damage? Trying to make my ISO hit harder. What's a good benchmark to be at rep-wise for an FKR at G4? Good question. And still can't beat wave 3 of the Elite 45s yet, even after the change? Have you tried since they just made the change? Our regular ships get crushed by the updated 51 Prowlers. Feel like I'm missing something. Possibly. All right. So power-wise, as you can see, you're already pretty up there. As far as what affects what, 1 second. I'm going to pull a graphic up for you. These graphics are nice. Where is... Go. So ISO, here's how it works. Got this handed in a graph we've saved from way back in the ISO days. Is it worth rushing the artifacts in NHS at level 8 in order to collect extra shards? I would not use the word rush. No, it is nice to get. Yes. But I would not use the word rush. All right, so isolate damage generated as a percentage. Standard damage. Raise the former to raise the latter. Facts. The main thing that is going to bypass, as you see here, is your standard mitigation. All right? We're going to bypass it. Don't worry about it. Now, you do run into isolytic mitigation. Right, which is based on isolytic defense. I can show you the math on that if you need to. But standard mit, we don't worry about. Right? We bypass that. So ISO is just taking your standard damage numbers, taking a percentage of that, turning that into whether bigger, smaller, whatever. And then it has to deal with ISO defense as its mitigation layer. So it ends up having the same amount of layers, but different things interact with it. So your primary piercing, no, you're not worried about that. But you are worried about how much ISO damage you have as a percentage, as well as ISO cascade, which is the multiplier for ISO damage. And then how much ISO defense they have to stop you. So, no Apex Barrier. Apex Barrier stops everything. Everything runs. So Apex Barrier didn't exist when this graph was made. But Apex Barrier is running to everything. Apex Barrier is right back here on this. It's behind mitigation layers. And you can see that in a battle log. So if we go to a battle log real quick, any battle log will do, honestly. Well, any battle log that has ISO. Let's see if I've got one. Yeah, I've got, let's just pick a victory. Yeah, so here's when I beat Locutus. But we're looking at the actual pew-pews. See, we did a shot. So we've got standard damage, ISO damage, so that it's, mitigation. Then we have apex barrier. Then we have shield. So apex barrier is after the mitigation calculations for either standard or ISO. So you're going to hit apex barrier regardless. And then that's where apex shred comes in to counter that. It's annoying, but in terms of think of your PEMDAS from back in your school days, you've got a similar idea here with an order of operations with your damages. So apex barrier is after the mitigation layers, and it's basically an extra shield layer. Kinda. It's annoying. But hey, copy paste mechanics to sell new things. Yay! So, yeah. And yes, Demai, if I do call out a person, you PM your name and questions asked. Exactly. That's exactly how we do it. So, there we go. Let me pop out and see if we got any more of these armadas running because they be handy. I think they're done. Cool. Let's get this repaired. And I'm going to get these faction turn-ins. And we'll get back to Demon Chris's questions. Because I like Demon Chris's questions. So next question they had is trying to make ISO hit harder. This comes back to me saying formation armadas. Because there are a lot of ISO bonuses in formation armadas. Now, there are also a lot of ISO bonuses in other places. However, that is an easy one. Formation armadas. Run them with your group. There's ISO and formation armadas. There are also ISO bonuses in your territory tree. So make sure you're doing your territory tree. If you're trying to boost ISO, there's several different things that we can give you that'll give it that, kick up a little bit. Also, clearly need to go run some static crenums. I'm running low on that currency. Go ahead and pull more of my Seska shards. And pull our DTI real quick. Speaking of things that boost ISO, make sure you're pulling that every single day, because that'll help out. But let's go take a look at, nobody's launched anything, so we can just sit there for a bit. Let's go take a look at some of those ISO things that I'm calling out. So come into here, hit this little button, makes it easy. ISO damage against players, ISO damage versus hostiles, ISO defense, like all these are available. ISO damage on a battleship when burning, ISO damage on an intercept with a hull breach, ISO damage on explorer, morale, ISO in PvP, that's ISO defense in PvP. Lots of ISO things are thrown into here. See another ISO damage, the Borg Queen's remains. That's a generic boost for all ships and all situations. That's why I'm really big on doing artifacts, because they do have a lot of the newer goodies that you're looking for. And the new Crenum formation armadas in particular make it very nice to be able to do that. I'm going to wait for that pull when we do our X-Borg turn in here in a second. Yay, Prime Orbit medallions. Woohoo. Other places, I mentioned researches, territory being one of them. So let's open this up and we'll scroll down. Now keep in mind, there's a lot of things that have it, but I'm just trying to point out a couple of them. So Delac Do is going to be ISO damage for faction specific. You see we got Klingon, Fed, and Romulan. You also got a defense version there. Again, just showing you a couple of things that exist. You also have in the Starships tree over in the Monavine area. Where's our Monavine area? I just bypassed it. You have Isolated Defense Protocol, which is ISO defense for everybody. That's in the Vindicator. But back here, Tachyon Battle Surge. Increases base islet damage of all ships fighting other players. You got a little bit here. So they do have it, kind of parsed out in different places in both artifacts, research, etc. But if you're trying to get it, those are two big areas that you can work on improving your ISO, which I need to do because now that I've moved to 60, I'm behind on my ISO percentages. And for those curious where my standard ISOs are, I'm at 127 damage and 303 defense. And that's a little bit low for where I'm at. There are also other things that boost ISO, such as FTs and CTs. Now, as far as your rep, the only thing I would say is you need to have as much rep as you need to get the new faction ship. So for you, preparing to go to level 50, you need to hit 1 billion rep. That's it. No reason to go heavy and grind to 15 billion at level 46, unless you just really want to. No need for that. You only need the rep for whatever ship you're going for. That's how I tend to view things. Right? Now you can go above and beyond that, and there are pros and cons. So no way to pierce their ISO defense as such is make number bigger. Correct. There is no way. So how you'll pierce their ISO defense is with standard ISO improvements and then ISO cascade. So again, it's remembering how that calculation works. I don't know if I have that graphic handy. I might have to pull up the spreadsheet. Yeah, the spreadsheet has that one handy for the math. Let me see. Do I have it in this folder by chance? Doesn't look like I do. Charts. Platinum refinery chart. I don't have it saved. Yeah, it is in the ISO chart. You can see the math. Short answer of it is, though, ISO defense is a divisional problem. So you're going to take your ISO damage and divide it by the ISO defense. So depending on that number, real simple. If you created 1,000 ISO damage and they had ISO defense of 200%, you're going to divide it by 2. And that's going to determine your damage. So you overcome that by simply having more. So, isn't it everyone's ISO behind them? Not everybody, Tony Stark. There are level 57s that I run into in PvP arenas that have like 300% ISO. And let me tell you, it matters. It matters. Now, will those tend to be spenders? Yes, but I'm just pointing it out there. You can have the best PvP crew in the world. If somebody outnumbers your ISO 3-1, they're probably going to kick your butt, right? If they outnumber your Apex 3-1, they're probably going to kick your butt. That's how it is, right? I'm not making excuses for it. I'm just preparing you for it. Good afternoon, Caldon. Good to see you. And the real men wear pink? I've never understood that. I mean, me wearing pink doesn't make me less mask. If anybody has hung out with me for a while, they know that I am very much well, let's not get into that. But you don't have to worry about that here. So, wear what you like. I don't care. Is changing Kira's above deck ability working on all armadas or just Cardassian? Correct, AT. All armadas. All armadas. Listen to Rev, only a real nut job would hit 1 billion lock before G4. Yeah, we've had people who've come to me like, Rev, am I the first level 20 to hit 10 million lock and stuff? I'm like, yeah, congrats. You're insane. There was one level, I think, 24, who was doing the 1 billion lock, and they were using a North Star. Happy for you. Awesome. Could not be me. Could not be me. So again, another reminder on those ISO bonuses, by the way. A wrong building. Is it this building? No. Dang it. Oh, don't forget Star Path. A lot of ISO in that. And that works in PvP and PvE. There. Oh my goodness. Was it the building I was at? Yeah, it is here. No, that's the Independent Archives. Oh, my Lanta. Oh, my Lanta. I've done forgot where the ISO bonus is. DTI. Oh, right here. DTI. I also got this. Take these as high as you can. That's why you want to be upgrading that building as much as you can. Never forget. Always pull. You see, I'm 2 levels behind on this building right now as well. So again, all these things add up. All these things math out. Yes, it's a lot to keep up with, but you can see I'd be at 95 and 60 versus 91 and 57. And those percentages do matter. Everything you can do to get there matters. Toe says I'm 49 now on the 710 account. Should I sit and stay or say screw it and punch up to 50? To unlock more research in G4 epics. I would not go to 50 until you're ready to do the G5 epic or G4 epic. I would say that. I would say that. Don't go there until you're ready. How you start the DTI? You get that in your claims chest. That big green in the process of building? That's this weekend. The Roddy comes out this weekend. So I'm not going to be able to do as much as I did with the D, but I'm hoping. I've not even Spox clubbed it. I think I'm around tier 5. Tritanium's going to be my issue. I stream every weekend, Tony. Yep. I stream every weekend. I stream most every day. So if y'all aren't on the Twitch, I'm actually streaming again in about 3.5 hours on Twitch. We'll be doing War Thunder, and then probably STFC a little bit later. So some of my lives had to reach out to support to get the DTI building claim gift. Yeah, that has been a problem. Sometimes the claim does not auto-populate if you've already reached the level for it. So if that has not happened, reach out to customer support and they can hand it to you, directly. Sometimes that does happen, and that is annoying, but hey. Yeah. Sure, it was my issue as well. Yeah, and I know it's coming. I know it's there. All right, let me go ahead and make these claims real quick. Speaking of other places that have ISO, Mirror Tree. And I know everybody's gonna be like, Rev, I hate PvP. Cool. If you have Mondays free, if you've got nothing to do on Monday but complain about PvP arenas, here's what I want you to do. I want you to keep complaining about PvP arenas while you play them so that you can get all these pulls. That's what I want you to do. I want you to yell even louder how you hate it, but I want you to yell as you're doing it. Does that sound good? Cool. Y'all do that. Y'all listen to Rev. Do what Rev says, and you will enjoy life. And you'll still get to complain. You'll still get to complain all day long. Complain, yell. Tell me how much you hate it. Just keep doing it. Now, if you don't have Mondays free, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So much good stuff in here. One of the ways that I'm able to afford and be strong at my level is Mirror. Too good to ignore. You love PvP arenas? Same. But I know not everybody agrees with that, and that's fine. I'm actually A-okay with people not agreeing on PvP arenas being great. 100% am. But I'm still telling people to do it. Just because of what it gets you. Oop. I mean, some people might do this. We were talking ISO, but here's ISO and Apex. I don't really need that. But I do want this for later on. The rewards are worth it. Agreed. And again, I get it. And everybody's going to like it. And I'm 100% okay with people not liking something. I'm not trying to force people to like something. I'm trying to force people to get things. Even, I want value in your accounts, what I'm saying. Let me grab this. Had terrible luck with public squads. His team with a 60 who just sat there. Gary Kirk, I will tell you this. I do stream every Monday night, and I only do public squads. So if y'all want to play with me, everybody here has an open invitation to play with Rev. Everyone's got an open invitation to play with Rev. So, if y'all want to come play with me, you can. We win more than we lose. I beat G6 teams. We use strategies. We focus on that content. Y'all are more than welcome. So, all right, y'all, look, we've hit our time for the day, but I've had a great time hanging out with you. I appreciate you. If you want more time with Rev, come hang out with us on the Discord. Come hang out with us on the streams, on Twitch. Also want to say one other thing. If you would be so kind, never required, but I would be remiss. I would be hurting my family if I did not ask this. Remember, as a content creator, I can only do what I do with your help. Now, not everybody wants to support content creators financially. I get that. But if just a few of you did, it helps out a lot. I just posted in the chat my PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App link. You do not have to do it. If you feel obligated, I'm sorry, because it's not what I'm trying to do. But I will say, for me to continue to do what I'm doing, your support is needed. Thank you so much for those who do. Even if you just send a few bucks, it means a lot. Appreciate you. I'll catch y'all on tonight's stream. Live long and plunder. Stay safe with those Space Cowboys. Deuces. That's me. Catch you on the next Star Trek League Man video. I'm out. That's all I got for you today. We'll do more of this, though. Account reviews. We'll keep it going. Y'all enjoy it. If I didn't get to you today, don't worry. I appreciate you. Hit the like button on the way out. See you then.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.